Hey, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. If you are wondering whether homeschooling is right for your child or not, this is the video for you. I'm going to share some teacher perspective as to why homeschooling can really work for any child and what are some of the things that you got to look out for so that it can work for your child. My name is Miss Rena, Montessori teacher, here to help you grow in your homeschool and parenting journey, and welcome to my channel, A Little Room to Grow. Before we get into sharing the insight, be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you can get more weekly videos like this. And also, if you find some value during this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, send comments or questions, whatever comes to mind, and I'll be happy to connect with you. And if you are looking for some guidance on how to set up the homeschool environment, what are some fundamental things that you need to look out for before setting up, then there's an e-course for you called Create an Organized Homeschool Space. It is a e-course that I have crafted for parents like you who are just starting off and who sort of just need a direction on how to get this going without any experience. Check out the link in the description below so you can find out more about the course. All right, so let's talk about whether homeschooling is right for your child or not. Let's rewind a bit. Your child's first learning environment was actually at home. After your child came out of the womb, literally the home was the first space where they actually got to, develop themselves and also to learn how things work around them. And all that they have learned and all the milestones that they have hit within your home environment is valuable enough for them to be prepared for school. They have learned how to toilet train, how to walk, how to talk, how to feed themselves. They've learned how to hold pencils and markers. They've learned, that certain things go in certain places. They learn social skills, interacting with you, interacting with siblings or other family members. These things all help your child understand how the world works and what their place is in it. So when you're thinking about homeschooling your child, try not to look at it as like two completely separate things. There's actually like a bridge in between the home environment and the school environment. And in that bridge is the self-awareness that your child gains in the home environment and all the other life skills that they gain and their readiness for school. So if you feel confident enough that your child is ready to go to school, then there should be no issue with them being ready to stay home and to continue to learn at home with you. Now, there are some important factors that you got to keep in mind though that will help the school year run successfully at home with you. So the first thing is that you got to acknowledge whether you want to be your child's teacher or not. And this is definitely a make or break because your child will have a difficult time learning if you are always going to be, aggravated or annoyed or just in a negative headspace all of the time, right? Just, you wouldn't want for your child's teacher to be like that at school. You would automatically think, well, they don't like their teacher and their teacher doesn't seem to enjoy their job, so obviously my child's not going to learn from them. Well, you got to think about that for yourself too. If you're going to be taking on the role of being your child's teacher, then you got to wear that hat and wear it proud and go into the role of being a teacher and take on that homeschooling. Like, you running and you don't know really where you're running with it, but you don't care. You got all the energy and you're like, we are getting somewhere with this, right? You got to have like that sense of motivation and that willingness to learn with them and to really just embrace the role of being your child's teacher at home. So I previously did a video on, is homeschooling right for me? You're going to be asking yourself that question, and there are 4 fundamental questions that you are going to ask yourself to give you some clarity on whether this is for you or not. So once you decided, yes, I want to be my child's teacher, then you're already on the right track. The next thing you want to think about is, what is your relationship like with your child currently? Like, how healthy is your relationship with your child? Do you guys share like a collaborative relationship together, or is it like constantly a battle? Is it always a power struggle? Now, this is important because your child is going to be faced with having to be the student in their home, and now their parent is going to be their teacher. So there's definitely some acceptance that's going to have to happen here. And if you have a collaborative relationship with your child, then obviously that transition is going to be easy. But if you have like some kind of power struggle going on, then I would suggest to try to work on that as much as possible before starting homeschool. Because obviously, if you are already having a hard time with your child right now, it's not going to be any easier when you're going to try to take on the role as their teacher, because then the power struggle is going to be even more intense. You're going to be the one that's going to show them how to do certain things, and they're going to constantly be, you know, fighting you about it or not wanting to pay attention or to just take control of the situation. So it's super important that you try to acknowledge where you're at with your child currently, your relationship with them. And if you are definitely having some trouble, then take the time to you know, do some self-reflection and observe your actions and your child's actions during these challenging moments, and try to come up with some kind of solution that will allow for you to work collaboratively with your child. Now, there are some factors of homeschooling that kind of make parents shy away from doing it, like the fact that there is their child is going to be a lot more isolated. There's going to be less social interactions. And yes, this is true. Your child will definitely not be able to socialize as much as they would in a regular school setting. However, there is definitely workarounds. You can you know, get together with a group of homeschoolers after school hours, even during school hours. You know, you can put your child into extracurricular activities with other groups of children. You can put your child in sports after school hours. You can take your child to the park, even if it's during the, you know, recess time in your homeschool hours. So there's definitely ways to work around meeting that social need that your child is for sure going to need, because it is a part of their development. So, you know, within reason, there is some hesitation because of that, but your child will definitely do great if you make some time for socialization throughout the homeschool day. So no matter your child's age, be sure that you make time for that, especially if you have mixed age children at home. You want to make sure that you're meeting all of your children's level of social skills. So lastly, when thinking about whether homeschooling is right for your child or not, look into different curriculums that you think that would fit your parenting approach, and something that you think that would also fit your child's you know, their interests. Say, for instance, you're one of those parents who loves to be outdoors and you want for your child to kind of learn, you know, through that approach, then there are some homeschooling curriculums that you can follow that are more nature-based. And if you think that your child would do great in a traditional approach and you want that kind of structure, then look into an approach that can, you know, provide that structure for you. And that is the beauty of homeschooling, is it doesn't have to be necessarily one exact way. You have the liberty to choose what works for you and what may work for your child. And you also have the flexibility to kind of change things up every school year, right? So just take your time and look into some options. Now, in the course, How to Organize a Homeschool Space, remember that link is in the description. In there's actually a list of different homeschool curriculums for different types of approaches, so that will help you kind of come to a conclusion as to which route you want to take. And I want to point out one last thing before we wrap it up. If you create a homeschool space for your child, it's going to be so much easier for them to take on the role of being a student, because the homeschool space is a space just for certain hours of the day and certain days of the week. So they are going to look forward to, you know, using this space. They're going to look forward to using the materials in this space and respecting the fact that it's only at certain times. And, you know, they're definitely going to have some kind of interest in wanting to be in that space, and they're going to understand that, you know, when I am there, these are my responsibilities and these are the tools that I need and things like that. So there's a lot that an environment can do to fuel your child's readiness to learn. Let's recap. Yes, homeschooling is right for your child as long as you're willing to be your child's teacher, as long as you have some kind of collaborative, healthy relationship with your child. If not, remember to stop and try to work on that. And if you make some time for socialization, that will help your child feel kind of like internally balanced. And also, if you find a curriculum that meets your parenting approach and your child's interest in some way, that will certainly help your child feel so much more motivated to do homeschooling. And lastly, yes, homeschooling will be right for your child if you make sure that you organize a designated homeschool space separate from your living environment. All right, well, thanks for tuning in. I hope that this was valuable. And remember to be sure to check out that e-course on how to organize a homeschool space if you are looking to start with some sense of direction. Thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.